You stabbed the devil in the back. To him, this isn't vengeance. This is justice.
Here's a question. Why hasn't John Wick named his dog?
I think when not only do we want something humorous or anything like that, it's like John Wick does everything. Hopefully, as filmmakers, everything in John Wick has a meaning. We didn't just put a chair or a bottle or a title or a video screen or... It's either making fun of ourselves as filmmakers, it's a little artistic thing for us, it's a little Easter egg for something else. I think John Wick is very much like that as a character. He doesn't just have something, he doesn't just throw a spot or hey, you're... He's got a meaning behind everything, and I think he's constantly searching for a meaning for everything. And because we put the second movie so close after the first movie in its own timeline, that John just hasn't had the time to really find out who his dog is and how to name him.
As a follow-up, does he have a name for his car?
I don't think he does, but you know what? That's a great question you should ask Keanu. The director does not have his name as first car. Does John Wick? John Wick might have it, but it's internal.
Gotcha. Is he ever going to get his car back?
I think, knowing what a good friend Aurelio is, I have a feeling that you'll see that Mustang again in the next chapter.
So as a big fan of the original, I kind of think it was nearly perfect. Going into chapter 2, how do you try to improve on that?
Good question, probably the most commonly asked one, and I always jump back like that's the curse of the sequel. You like the first one because it's original, just by its nature, it's original, it's the first one. So how do you do another original chapter of something that you've already seen? And it is a tricky thing. There's the bigger and better mentality, there's trying to retell the same story. We trying to go what I call more of the immersive way. Okay, if you really liked the action and the hidden world of assassins in the first movie, we just thought we'd stay with that, stay with the man, stay with more of a character-driven plot, and immerse the plot into that world, meaning we'll show you more of the hidden world, we'll show you more of why John Wick is in trouble, what his choices of the first movie, what the ramifications are, why the first movie caused the second movie. So we try to tie everything into the myth that he's given a promise, the promise has come back to haunt him, this is the world, and we try to do it in a way that his journey took you deeper into the world of assassins. So hopefully it's more of an immersive look into the world of assassins that people would like, I hope.
Is there any fear of sort of getting into all that lore that was sort of more, background stuff in the first? Mm-hmm. Is there any fear that it loses a little bit of the magic or the history?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I always worry about that. Like, how much did people like the immersion? How much did people like the first world? What's interesting to you? It can spin your head around. And honestly, we started thinking about John Wick 2 in January, and it wasn't until like June we thought we had a good crack with the marker and how to do it and it really came down to simplifying. And when it comes right down to it, it's my decision about where to go, what to do as a director. And you're like, okay, you kind of throw everything else to the side. You stop worrying about what can and can't go wrong, and you're just like, look, what's interesting to me? What's special to me? And what was special to me was John's relationship with all our cool characters. So we try to hold true to that and hold true to his little journey. We like the way he interacts with Gianna. There's a moment there. We like the way he interacts with Ricardo. We like the way he interacts with Laurence, and see how they react to him. So I think it's more of a series of cool events that take you through the underworld than any one plot device.
Sure.
If that makes sense, yeah.
We know that the next chapter is at least being worked on in some capacity. How did you try to balance setting that up versus trying to make John Wick 2 feel like its own standalone thing?
Yeah, I think link-wise, conceptually, it's like the first movie is showing you the world. The second film, or John Wick Chapter 2, is about showing all the things and then taking them away. We took away the Continental. By the end of the second film, we've stripped John of everything. He's got no friends, he's got no service industries, he's got nothing. We burnt down his house, we took away everything. It's him and the dog, go.
Yeah, so we knew the dog,
yeah,
at least.
Yeah, exactly, right? So we knew we wanted to end the second movie like that, and the third movie is about how does the entire world come after him and how does he turn that around? Or what is the resolution to everything? How does John finally get out? So just coming to terms with what we want to end in the third one, that's where we draw a line where, okay, we're going to end the second one on this. And the details of the third one, to be honest with you, we're still working on.
Sure. You mentioned the resolution, though. How far does the series go? Is it the John Wick trilogy, or do you have more mapped out in your head?
Honestly, two things that really interest me. I'd like to, the story that we had in mind were 2 and 3, and that's as far as creatively my mind's gone like that. Where we want to take it after that, at least in my mind, and again, you can talk to 20 other people about that, is I'd really like to see the setup to all three of these films, or all three of our ideas, meaning the idea of a prequel. Now, whether it's in the television mode or the feature mode, we'd like to see what happens before John Wick or John Wick before he got out. I think that's super interesting.
Right, because it's John Wick 2, but really this should be like John Wick Chapter 9 based on.
Honestly, we modeled it very close to the way Lucas did Star Wars. You know.
Yeah.